Um, we teams gotten off to a nice start in conference play. I mean, I think you can see really clearly when you look across the valley. I mean, everybody knew that coming in, but it's going to be a war every night out. And you just look at the scores across the league, and clearly for us last night, we went in and played a confident Velpo team who give them a lot of credit. They played really well. We didn't play as well, but a lot of that was Velpo, and it's going to be like that night in and night out. I mean, you got to show up ready to play, and like what I told our guys is you got to show up with an edge every night, and then if you do that, expect a close game, every once in a while, I thought they kind of came out. Velpo did the way we did against Illinois State, and we didn't match that. And by the time we did, it was kind of too late. But it's been a great start for our guys. Our guys have gelled well. I think they're doing some really, really good things. And I like the position that we're in. We know it's going to be tough sledding moving forward. Starting with Saturday, I mean, Evansville is a tough team to play. Clearly, they've just won a couple in a row. They beat Missouri State last night, who was a preseason favorite, and Marty Simmons is a terrific coach. Their team plays hard-nosed, physical. They're good on both ends of the floor, and we're in for a real dogfight on Saturday. And hopefully us coming back home, and hopefully we have a nice crowd, and should be a whale of a ball game.
You guys get off this perfect start in conference play. I imagine teams and even fans are expecting that to kind of even out. How do you guys avoid that happening?
I mean, I guess I don't really change my approach and, even out, not even out. Every game's going to be tough. We came out on the right end of the first four. Last night we didn't play as well. And again, I thought our opponents played great. I just think sometimes you can't worry about the peripheries. I think that sometimes the more you focus on those things or try to talk about, they can almost become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I think you just got to focus on getting better, understanding night in and night out that these are highly competitive games, well-prepared teams, and just focus win or lose to try to keep your routine the same and keep going. And I think that's what we'll do, and not really focus on that. And like I said, from day one, there's 18 league games. They all count the same. And so just like this one will on Saturday, so we've just got to put all our cards into the next game.
Maybe one of the peripheral things that you guys can kind of enjoy a little bit is just the success that both teams are having right now. You guys are really the only show on campus with most classes being out of session. How do you guys take advantage of that, and maybe how enjoyable has January been?
I think it's great. I mean, like these guys, it's kind of the life. It's like being a pro, right? I mean, you're not in class. Your focus is basketball and spending time with your teammates and coaches. And I think it's something when these guys really look back on it in years, it's something that they'll really miss. It's not just the games, but it's the time that you get to spend together. Doing what you love, and it's great. And I know Jenny will never come in here, and I know her, and I know how coaches are. She'll never come in here and talk about their winning streak or how great they're doing. But it's just there is not even an adjective to describe what they've been doing in the Valley. And so it's fun to watch their success. And, we've been playing well early, and clearly, I think it's energized the athletic department and some of the alumni and fan base. And, we got a lot of work to do. We know that. But I think in the short term, at least, we've got kind of a glimpse of that, and it's been fun.
Yeah, just getting back to everything on Saturday, Evansville comes in here. What do you know about them, and what kind of challenges I assume they're taller than you guys?
That's a given, right? I mean, everybody knows that. Marty Simmons is a terrific coach. He's an old school guy. They're one of the few guys that they run an old, 5-man motion, a ton of off-ball screens. They're going to play, not afraid to play late in the clock. I mean, you're going to get screened 5, 6, 7 times in a possession. It's kind of an old school way of playing, but it's very, very difficult to defend. They're very good at it. They play really well together. The Ryan Taylor kid they have, I think if I have this right, I looked, he's number 1 in the country in percentage of possessions used for his team. So he's a guy that's just going to run off. I mean, as many screens as you could imagine, and they just play really well together. They're very, very difficult to defend, and they really try to grind you up. And I think he's got his team playing well on the defensive end. You just look at the numbers. I mean, they held Bradley to 44 points. They held Missouri State in the 50s the other night. So they're a good team, and it's just look at the Valley, right? They got off to a great start. Ryan was hurt a little bit. They dropped their first three, which were close games, and now they've won 2 in a row. And so I think you got to be careful here early in the year to put too much. I mean, any night out, anyone can beat anybody, and that's the way it's going to be. So it's going to be a hard-fought game here on Saturday.
What's your opinion of the narrative that the Valley's down this year?
It's not down. I think and again, I wasn't here, but I think what's happened is the bottom of the league is clearly better than it was. So all you got to do is look at the numbers. There are no bad teams in the league. I mean, everybody is good. And I don't know if there's anybody that's, running away with it. There's no Wichita States. And, clearly there's some teams that have more experience, coming back than the others, or teams that were picked here and there. But I don't think there's a ton of separation 1 through 10. And so I think last year 9-9 got you a 3 seed even, and so I don't know what that's going to look like, but the Valley's not down. It's probably as competitive top to bottom as it's been.
Last time we got together, you talked about Nick McGlynn kind of being one of those guys that surprised you, playing really well early. Can you just talk a little bit more about what he brings to your lineup and how he goes about preparing?
Nick's a guy. He loves to play. He's got great energy. I think he's still really improving as a player, and I think he's improved as the season's gone on. And when he's in the game for us and he's not in foul trouble and he's playing, he's a huge key. And the last couple nights out, he's been in foul trouble kind of again, and so his minutes haven't been as consistent, but. Because we're a small team, he's a guy that really can provide a presence for us. He rebounds the ball really well. He can finish inside, and brings us a lot of energy on that end. And so when he's playing really well, we're clearly a different team. So he's a huge piece because he's a good player. But especially for this team, that's not putting pressure on him. I mean, Nick gives his all every day, but it's been fun to see him as he's improved. I think that's been a huge key to our improvement.